Hey guys, Ricardo with Phastek.com. When installing an aftermarket cold air intake system on these 5th gen Camaros, the purpose is to get as much airflow as possible so we can feed that engine under the hood. Unfortunately, one small design flaw with the Camaro is that most of the airflow that feeds the intake has to go around the headlight. This small disturbance does not hinder much performance, but if we know anything about most engines, they like to be fed as much air as possible so they can produce as much power as possible. To avoid that little disturbance, we have created an air scoop that directs the cold, dense air from the front part of the lower grille directly to most aftermarket cold air intake systems. This simple scoop and washer tank combo allows you to feed as much dense air to your intake system as possible, giving your engine all the air it needs to breathe. As you're driving in a forward motion, this scoop is designed to grab the air and direct it towards the lower half of most aftermarket intake systems. The open bottom of most systems allows us to direct the air right to the bottom of the filter area, supplying more than enough air to ensure that you are able to make as much power as possible out of the intake system. Now, installing this scoop will require you to remove the factory washer tank, but that is not an issue since it does come with a combo kit that will have everything needed for an easy install. The supplied washer tank and remote fill neck holds 2 quarts of washer fluid, keeping your view happy when needed. The remote mount fill neck can be mounted in a couple of different locations, giving you the option to find a spot that fits your needs. The factory washer pump is reused, so there is no extra wiring needed. Simply place the pump onto the washer tank and install it to the side of the scoop. For the installation on our Camaro, I did remove the front bumper and the driver's side fender liner just to give you guys a better view of what needs to be done. That does not mean the front bumper or the fender liner need to be removed, but having them out of the way sure does help. Remove the washer tank hose. If there is any remaining fluid in the tank, you will need to plug the pump to prevent a big mess. Unplug the electrical connector from the pump and disconnect the hose from the retaining tabs that follow towards the top of the reservoir. Remove the 3 13mm bolts holding the reservoir to the frame rail and set aside the reservoir. The scoop will require us to modify the factory deflector. Using a cutting tool, you will need to cut the plastic deflector enough to fit the scoop in place. Verify that there is enough room for the scoop before moving on. Remove the factory 10mm bolt holding the horn bracket to the frame and install the supplied bolt back in place. Reusing one of the mounting bolts for the reservoir, install the scoop using the factory bolt to hold it to the frame. Place the mounting tab for the scoop on the back side of the horn bracket bolt for the correct alignment. Using the supplied nut and washer, place them on the back side of the mounting tab for the scoop. Once all the hardware is in place, you can tighten down the hardware. Mount the new washer tank to the side of the scoop with the supplied hardware. Tighten down the hardware once it is all in place. Install the factory washer pump to the new washer tank and reconnect the washer hose and electrical connector. Install the supplied hose on the top side of the washer tank and tighten down the provided clamp to hold the hose in place. To mount the fill neck, find a location on your heat shield that will provide enough clearance for the hood to close properly. With the good location, you will have to drill some holes to mount the fill neck and hardware. Remove the heat shield and drill the holes as needed to mount the fill neck. With the heat shield back in place, connect the remaining fill neck hose. This can be cut to shorten the length if needed. Once adjusted, use a supplied hose clamp to hold the hose in place on the fill neck. Finally, fill the tank with washer fluid and check for leaks. There you have it, folks. The scoop is installed and it's going to look like nothing is there. Thanks to the textured black powder coated finish, it is going to look like nothing was done to the front half of our car, keeping this our little secret. Now we can cruise around knowing that we are feeding as much air as possible to the engine, improving both our power and our fuel economy, if we can keep our foot out of the pedal with enough time to make a difference. As always, thank you for watching. If you would like any more information about this product, go ahead and click the link in the description. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe for our future videos.